Hey Cloud Gamers, today I'm having a look at Rocket League. First with a load speed test here on maximum settings on the 2080 Super Rig, Shadow PC and GeForce NOW. It is worth noting that the maximum settings rig and Shadow PC had been started, so this is just the client connect and launch sequence here. Rocket League is free on Epic right now, and you can also get a £10 or $10 gift card for claiming that, so do go and grab it from the Epic Game Store and you can play it on your favourite platform. You can see that Shadow PC has launched first there into the game at 30 seconds and hitting that start screen at 39 seconds. Rocket League really is as fast as starting as it is to play. Maximum settings hitting second then at 50 seconds, and GeForce NOW at the end there at 55 seconds. But as I said, you will need to start up the maximum settings and Shadow PCs first. So all in all, under a minute to get to the start screen on any platform is a fantastic start. Moving over to the graphics comparison side then, having the maximum settings 2080 Super Rig is not going to give you a great advantage here in Rocket League. This game is fantastically optimized, as you can see here across the board. By default it is locked to 62 frames per second, so that is the default that I have left here across the board. All settings are set to very high and anti-aliasing set to FXAA. And you can see that it is crisp and clear, there is no stutter, there are no frame drops, it is holding that 62 frames per second solid across all three platforms here. And for such an immense fast-paced game, graphics are not going to be the be and end all of your gameplay. It certainly makes it look and feel a bit nicer, but as long as those frames are holding at 60 plus frames, and I don't think you're going to gain a lot by having a higher frame rate in Rocket League, but it is working brilliantly across all three systems here, and the ability of it being on GeForce NOW and cross-platform is a big win. Then move into a bit of single gameplay so you can just see the different systems in action, starting with the 2080 Super here. Again, you're mainly going to see any differences on the clients themselves here. Maximum settings using the Moonlight streamer here. And I did get a goal here, which is always a good start. That was an assist as Al Fern took my shot there. But you can see that the graphics are phenomenal and the frame rate does not dip at all. It's holding that 62 frames per second firm. And I got a lucky shot in there where people missed the ball and I managed to get the punch straight in. You can see the Moonlight streamer is doing fantastic with maximum settings, and the 2080 Super is probably overkill for this game, as you'll see when we look at the other platforms. But solid nonetheless. As we move over to Shadow PC, again we see these frames holding at 62 frames per second quite happily. So they get a lucky shot there, just missed fortunately. But again, the Shadow client here working fantastic on PC, and I managed to sneak a goal in there as well. You can see that the graphics there dipped very slightly under the 62 frames, which we did not see on the 2080, but 1 frame per second is not going to make a huge difference here. Overall, the quality is looking great and plays well on Shadow. Rocket League is definitely a fast-paced, fun game, and it's going to take a lot of time to master. Certainly a game that you can pick up and play quite happily. And you can see why it's so popular on esports, because the action doesn't stop. And you really do need to work as a team, so having randoms here can cause chaos, as you'll see with an own goal here. So moving on to GeForce NOW, this is the one that's only just landed recently, and see how it compares to the other two here as full PCs. I must admit the GeForce NOW version does look a little bit duller than the other two, and I'm not quite sure why this is, but with the same graphics settings, I feel it is still holding that 62 frames per second quite happily. What will help is it does seem to be giving you the 2060C rig for Rocket League, and I think that C over the 2060B is making a huge difference here, and hopefully we'll see that 2060B less often in future. The 2060C then doing GeForce Now justice here, and was absolutely fantastic across all of the games that I played. And for it to be able to just be that pick up and play on any of the available platforms is definitely a big win for GeForce Now. So finishing off with last bit side by side, just so you can see each of them in action again. GeForce Now definitely does feel like it is holding that 62 frames per second alongside everything else, so it is definitely a solid way to play. Obviously, if you do have maximum settings or Shadow PC already, then they are also great ways to play. To be honest, a pay per hour is probably not the best way to play Rocket League, especially if you're going to start playing competitively. You want to get all that practice in. It could get quite expensive going forwards, but the 1080 version would probably pay this just as well, and of course a lot cheaper. I'll leave you a bit of final side-by-side play here of the absolute chaos in Rocket League. Considering it's free and you get that $10 bonus as well, it is definitely worth picking up and having a go. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all of the latest across all cloud gaming platforms, and I will see you next time.